We are here on the Evergreen State Campus today on Earth Fest with Suzuki.
No, it's Souki.
Souki, I'm sorry. I was worried about butchering it. Souki, who's a junior student here in advanced studies. And what are you studying here on campus?
I study media and sustainability.
Okay, and sustainability. And this is going to be a short interview, and she's going to tell us a little bit about herself, what she's doing tabling here, and how she feels about her studies and her future here. What do you hope to do after you graduate from Evergreen? Are you going to try to get an advanced degree, or are you going to look at the job market, or where do you go from here after you've completed your studies?
So I'd really like to go to graduate school for media. It would be really wonderful to have a media studies program here that is media focused. So yeah, I really would love to study media here and go to graduate school here. Right now there's not really a program for media, and so I would really love to help kind of facilitate that growth of not just media as this isolated thing that you study in a media class, but how to integrate media into all these different disciplines. Right. So for me, that is in sustainability with the garden. So how do we represent the things that we're doing in the garden that are really amazing, and like just how inspiring the students are with the projects that they take on. One of the reasons why I got involved with this student group, which is, should I look at the camera or you? One of the reasons that I got involved in this student group was because one of the first days that I was at Evergreen, I went down to the permaculture garden right by the organic farm, and it was like 15 students just, they were just in the garden hanging out and gardening and listening to music and playing music together, and they just waved me down, gave me a tour of the whole place, invited me to different potlucks, and invited me to all these different events here. And it was just like this instant community that was formed around working hard together in the garden and learning about systems and looking at how things interact in a really natural, patterned way, and empowering each other to learn really what we're all, our own unique niches of what we're interested in, and not telling each other, oh, this is the best thing to learn, but learning from each other. And so, yeah, just started going down to the garden a lot last year, and became the social media or the social outreach coordinator this last winter. And right now, I'm really interested in integrating media, promotional, marketing with the sustainability world, because I really feel like it's an area that really is underrepresented and needs to be represented more, using the tools that kind of the commercial world uses, but really applying them to representing what's of value. So not trying to sell objects or things or a lifestyle of buying and consumption, but why don't we sell the lifestyle of growing and closed loop systems and community and really the values that we care about. So.
Do you see yourself as getting involved in multimedia productions, that is, say, like video, photo, snapshots, and text, or do you see yourself focusing mostly on video? Which kinds of media do you think you'll be gravitating toward?
Right now, I'm leaving it pretty open to myself, because for me, media is communication, and I think that so much of all of the work that we do is in relationships and interactions, and if we can get better at seeing all of the tools that we use through media as communication tools, then we can be able to take out a screwdriver when we need it, or take out a hammer, and not try to just use one thing for one particular purpose, but have a lot of kind of skills with a lot of tools. So I think that I want to learn how to communicate effectively, and to do that I need to learn all of these different mediums and medias and strategies for communicating, whether that's through text, whether that's through photography, the still image, or the moving image, or graphics and animation, or posters and flyer marketing. So whatever is going to be of use and whatever is going to reach more people and allow people an opportunity to come and connect with other human beings. Yeah, so I think all of it is available.
Have you gotten familiar with people and work at the students at the Cooper Point Journal. That's the on-campus newspaper.
Yeah.
And have you visited TCTV? That's a community-based, open to the community.
I haven't.
That's not far from the campus. Actually, it's about a block from the Social Security office in Olympia.
Okay.
Who's your favorite journalist or journalists, and why?
Right now, I'm really interested in a film company called Still Motion, and they're actually based out of Portland. They used to do wedding videos. That's how they started, and they're a filmmaking crew from Canada. But they started from their wedding videos, they transformed really what is kind of a typically sometimes a boring subject matter into storytelling, and really deep, profound storytelling, and have evolved in a lot of ways from that into the NFL. Saw one of their wedding videos and and asked them to do like kind of a football video based on this, using the storytelling technique. And then from the NFL, the Army saw one of these football videos and decided to ask them to do a documentary about the Army and Navy football game, and they call it, I think it's a Game of Honor. And they made this really beautiful documentary that won a bunch of awards.
Was this a community-based effort?
No, it wasn't. This was something that was a little bit more of a commercial project.
Well, who was the big name behind this project?
The Army and the Navy.
Okay, there was nobody that was directing this effort that you could think of their name?
Oh, in terms of the film
Somebody
company?
wanted to look them up on Google. Like
Oh yeah, it's Still Motion.
Okay,
Still Motion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stillmotion.org?
Yeah, I think it's Still Motion. I think they have stillmotion.com. Yeah, and so what I really love about them is I got to go and I got a chance to work with them on their new I got to help them with their debut of their documentary film, which is called #StandWithMe, and it's about really it's a lot of things, and yeah, I guess I want people to look it up for themselves. It's about a young girl really selling lemonade, but selling a lot more hope against child slavery, and using lemonade to support funds to bring awareness about child slavery and the fact that it still exists. And
does it exist in Morocco?
It exists everywhere. So anyway, I got to work with this company and really got to see that they have this beautiful way of approaching documentary as storytelling, and storytelling with heart. And it really just moved the way that I see, how I work with the camera, and how the stories that I tell other people, and how it really does need to come from the heart. And so, yeah.
How do you feel about the facilities like Video Lab here on campus, the software? Do you feel like it's up to what a school this size and caliber ought to have for people that are interested in pursuing fields such as those?
Well, I would love to answer that, and I also want to know what your intentions are, behind asking that question. Why do you ask?
Just curiosity, speaking for what readers might wonder. I don't have any particular agenda, but I'm not familiar with the tools that this campus has. I think I attended school here in the mid-'80s. Lots changed since then. You would probably know, and so I'm interested in what the school has to offer people that might be interested in pursuing the field that you're in,
Yeah.
that you are pursuing.
Yeah. Well, again, it's something that I do really want to talk about, and I'm also I'm in the process of trying to discover kind of, I guess, how is it that the media system here is operating? Because we do have Media Loan, which is this really amazing...
Can students get a good education here at this school if they're interested in the kind of media work that you'd like to be doing?
Not right now, no. And
Okay.
that's really,
That's what I'm looking for is a candid answer.
Yeah, no, honestly, it's not here. It's not available in a systematic way. I mean, I've had to really put myself into positions of independent learning contracts and approaching, faculty members about, hey, how can I make this happen? Because there's not really a lot of interdisciplinary media. And we have access to resources, but it's access, we have you go through, what's the word for it? You go through processes where they teach you how to use the equipment, which is great, but they also don't really tell you about how to, like, what are the ethics behind documenting? If anyone has a camera, like, how can these media systems really talk about, okay, what does it mean to represent this thing? And what are the potential consequences
There's
of
a lot of
representing it in this
controversy
way?
on this campus about that, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
and also, and wanting people to have an open, honest, trusting relationship with the camera, because I think in a lot of ways, really, the camera has been kind of an abusive tool, or it's been a tool that has been used
It's a
for abuse.
powerful tool, just like guns.
Exactly, and when not wielded with responsibility, and when not wielded with a sense of intent and a desire to really help, in some way,
These are great questions. I got to ask you a natural follow-up question.
Yeah.
Have you seen the award-winning film by a Palestinian at very little money called Five Broken Cannons? I highly recommend that you look at that film, and especially with regard to these questions
Yeah.
about responsible journalism and the risks that journalists sometimes have to go to bring the story to the people.
Yeah. And thank you for the interview. I do really need to get back to work, but it's been really great.
Thank you, Souki. This was great. Signing off for Soul Snatcher Productions, a community-oriented